Hi, I'm Mary Rogers, and this is the Cuisinart line of pre-seasoned cast iron cookware. And today what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to get the best use out of your cookware and how to maintain it so that it's trouble-free. One of the things I want to talk about first is that the benefits of having cast iron cookware. It's really great at retaining heat. It's also great at any type of cooking function. But the one thing that you'll see a lot of people using it for is to sear things like steak on a grill pan, or doing lots of baking. Like a lot of times you'll see people do things like maybe cornbread, but it can be used for anything. The most important thing about your cast iron cookware is that you need to know how to maintain it so you get the best use out of it. So let's get started. The first thing that you're going to do is you have to realize that with cast iron cookware, soap and water will not be your best friend. So one of the things that you need to do is when you first get your cast iron cookware at home, you need to rinse it in water, but do not use soap. And the reason you're doing that is you're going to get any of the residue from being in the packaging or from manufacturing off the product. And then what you're going to do is you're going to start getting ready to actually season it. Even though it's pre-seasoned, you want to make sure that you season it again so that you have a great coating on the cookware before you actually cook in it. So you're going to use shortening or vegetable oil, and obviously the shortening should be melted before you use it. But what you're going to do is after the pan on the stove has cooled off and the water is completely evaporated, you are going to coat the pan. You can use a brush, you can use a towel. So I find that the best way to do this is to use a pastry brush, and just make sure you evenly coat both the inside the rim, and then what you're going to do is you're going to turn it over and you're going to do the same to the outside. And I'm just going to lay this down so I don't get grease all over the place. Obviously, you can use paper towels. So I'm just going to lean this on this and thoroughly coat it. The one thing about cast iron cookware is it's really important to maintain it properly so you get the best use out of it. So even though these are pre-seasoned, we always recommend that you season it again before you use it. So now that the whole pan is coated in oil, vegetable oil that is, or shortening as you prefer, what you're going to do is you're going to preheat your oven to 375, and on the middle rack you're going to put this cookware upside down like this, and underneath it on the bottom rack what you're going to do is you're going to either place a piece of aluminum foil or any type of baking pan that is actually the same size or larger than the piece of cookware. And that will allow for any residue of the shortening and or vegetable oil to drip onto that instead of the bottom of your oven. After your cookware has been in the oven for an hour, turn the oven off and let it cool naturally before you remove the cookware. And then it'll be seasoned. Then what's going to happen is I'm going to come back and I'm going to help you out by explaining to you how you should be maintaining your cookware by cleaning it. So now that you've seasoned your cookware, I just want to talk a little bit about how to maintain it after you've cooked in it. So the thing to remember is you never want to fill the cookware up with cold water or immerse it in cold water when the cookware is still hot. You always want to cool down your cookware first before you attempt to clean it. So the thing to remember though is that's called thermal shock, and thermal shock is not good for maintaining your cookware. So when you're done cooking, what you're going to do is you're going to let the cookware cool off and then rinse it with warm water. Do not use soap and do not use any type of scrubbing utensil. The thing is, if you get food residue stuck on your cookware, the thing to do is use a sponge that has no metallic surface, dip it in coarse salt, and you can actually rub the cookware and get the food residue off. But realize that when you do that, you will have to re-season your cookware. And remember, you need to put the shortening, liquid shortening in after you've melted it, or you're going to use vegetable oil. You're going to coat the cookware again, put it in the oven at 375 for 1 hour, let it cool down, turn the oven off after the hour, let it cool down naturally, and then your cookware is ready to use. Remember, cast iron cookware is great to cook with, but you have to maintain it properly. It's fabulous for things that are, high in oil, like things like, think salmon or steak or pork chops, or even things like fried chicken. That's what a lot of people use it for. It's fabulous to make fried chicken. Anything that's high in oil will help continually reseason your pan. Things like acid, though, will actually sometimes over time degrade the seasoning. So be careful about what types of foods you're cooking and realize that you need to maintain it properly to get the best use out of it. So there you have it, Cuisinart cast iron cookware line.